because we've reached the point when we can hack not just computers, we can hack human beings and other organisms.
What? Are you kidding me? We can hack humans? Hack humans? I know we can hack computers. I know we can hack phones, but we can now hack humans? Well, I don't know if it's true or not, but more than likely it probably is. I'm your host, Larry Ragland, and I'm excited that you're with us here on The Big Picture. If you hadn't hit that subscribe button, please do so now. That would be a blessing to us. But I want to get into this right now, y'all. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, and, this is a little out of my comfort zone here in the sense that, I've been watching some videos. I've been studying this. I've been researching it. I know it's true. It's factual. What I'm going to show you tonight, it is very well known. But when you get into the actual knowledge of most people in the world, they don't know anything about these guys. And they don't know anything about this World Economic Forum. If you ever heard of the World Economic Forum, this is an annual conference that meets in Davos, Switzerland, and it was founded by a dude. I'll be honest with you, his name is just like something straight out of a James Bond movie. He's fighting the evil Klaus Schwab.
Let this be a reminder to you all that this organization will not tolerate failure.
This is him. One of the famous statements that he's known for is on the screen there. It says, "You will own nothing and be happy." You will own nothing and be happy. And this is a result of a vision that was cast at one of the World Economic Forums in Davos, Switzerland. I believe it was 2020, might have been 2019, but they were casting a vision called the Vision 2030. In case you hadn't realized, at the time of this recording, it's 2022, the very end of 2022. It's almost 23. So 2030 is not that far away. But this is some of the things that they were believing for in Vision 2030. Let's watch this. 8 predictions for the world in 2030. Number 1. You will own nothing and be happy. Whatever you want, you'll rent and be delivered by drone. Wow. It basically says the United States will not be the world power. It'll be a handful of countries will dominate. Look at number 3. You won't die waiting for an organ donor. Wait a minute. Wait for it. We won't transplant organs. We will print them. Oh, here's another one. You're going to eat much less meat as an occasional treat, not as a staple, for the good of the environment and for your health. 1 billion people will be displaced by climate change. Number 5. We'll have to do a better at welcoming and integrating refugees. Number 6, polluters will have to pay a carbon tax on their carbon dioxide. There will be a global price on carbon. And then number 7, you could be preparing to go to Mars. Scientists by then will have worked out how to keep you healthy in space. Y'all, this is 2030. And then number 8, Western values will have been tested to the breaking point. Checks and balances are underpinned. Our democracies must not be forgotten. This, y'all, was Vision 2030 that was cast by Klaus Schwab at the World Economic Forum. Now, I'm talking about the people that are at the World Economic Forum. These are your big-time actors, big-time influencers. Almost every former president since this has been in place has been there, and current presidents will go there. Republican and Democrat, some of the most influential senators and legislators, judges, the Bill Gates, all these different people that are wealthy. Some of the most wealthiest people in the world will be there because they want to be a part of the moving and shaking of the world in which we live in. But I'm going to tell you something. There's some dark, dark things that are going on there. Their plan that they have for the world is not a good plan because their plan is centered in the fact that they think that there really is no God, that it's hilarious and laughable that the most powerful country in the world would consider themselves, quote unquote, a Christian nation and so forth. And I want to show you this guy the guy we led with in the opening teaser there. It's very difficult for me to say his name, but his name is Yuval Noah Harari. I believe his name is Yuval Noah Harari. And he is an Israeli citizen. He's a Jewish person. And he is just unbelievable. Reminds me so much of some of the things that you heard about, read about, and you've seen in documentaries that was going on in the Nazi regime, the testing and the mindset of how to manipulate human DNA and how to manipulate the human being and to turn the living human being in a living specimen to be tested. But it's very interesting to me. I want to show you a couple of things from this guy. The first thing I want to show you is this, an introduction to this guy, Yuval Noah Harari. Guys, this is some scary stuff.
Just as God in the Bible designs and creates animals and plants and humans according to his wishes, now we are learning how to design and create life.
Now understand that this is Klaus Schwab's right-hand man, okay? Right-hand man. This is the guy that is carrying out the scientific and biological background and implementation of the vision of the World Economic Forum.
Yuval Harari thinks big for a living. Not so long ago, he was an obscure history professor, but his 2014 book, Sapiens, changed all that. He explored the past, cramming 150,000 years of human history into 400 pages.
Authority will shift.
Transforming himself into a literary phenomenon.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome once again Yuval Noah Harari.
Name dropped by the likes of Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and Barack Obama.
The other book that I really enjoyed, a book by an Israeli author, Yuval Harari.
His follow-up book, Homo Deus, tackled the future, elevating Harari to a sort of digital visionary.
One option that some people talk about is
that
only a catastrophe can shake humankind.
Okay, listen. I put the word up there because you couldn't hardly understand what he was saying. He said catastrophe, but he's saying catastrophe. He's saying one thing that's interesting is that if you want to implement this new idea, this new way of human culture, the best way to do it is at the end of a catastrophe. I'm gonna back it up. I want you to listen to what he's saying. This was from right before the thing that went all around the world. Not long before it at all. Watch this.
Options that some people talk about is that only a catastrophe can shake humankind and open the path to a real system of global governance. And they say that we can't do it before the catastrophe, but we need to start laying the foundations so that when the disasters strike, we can react quickly. But people will just not have the motivation to do such a thing before the disaster strike.
I put on the screen catastrophe 2020 ? Could that be the catastrophe that he was talking about? Because he said if we're going to implement world change and that people's minds would be prepared and be hackable to be able to move them and motivate them in a direction to basically turn society upside down and create a whole new agenda, then the best way to do it is after the catastrophe, okay? So I think we all agree that a lot of things changed during that time, the last 2.5 years at the time of this recording. A lot of things were taken away. A lot of things were implemented that, quite frankly, the powers that be would have never dreamed that they would have ever had the ability to do this. Now, if you're still with me, and I hope that you are about to be blown away, because I'm going to link down below the entire in the description of this video. I'm going to link the entire video so you can watch it in context, so you don't think that I have cut and pasted this. This is actually from the World Economic Forum. Okay, this was in 2018. Now, I want you to think about that. 2018. He was one of the keynote speakers at the World Economic Forum. And when I don't know how much of the crowd they show in this particular video, but I've seen the crowd of 2018 and others. And you've got Leonardo, whatever his name is, the actor, and then you've got sitting, Al Gore, you've got Biden, you've got people from the royal family. All these people are there. And while he's giving this speech, all right, so I want you to think about this. This is Yuval Noah Harari speaking at the World Economic Forum. I'm going to stop it a couple of times because I'm going to have to break some things down that he says. I want you to listen to this. This is going to blow your mind.
His ideas are very provocative, very alarming, and something that all of you should pay very close attention to now.
All right, so this is the introduction at the World Economic Forum. You'll see it says Annual Meeting 2018. The first thing I want you to see is it's just mind-boggling. You see the image of the face on the giant screen in the background? Now, I'm going to come back and give you my commentary, but I want you, the viewer of the big picture, I want you to notice that when he walks across the stage, it just gives me chills, y'all. When I was watching it, I had to watch it several times to think, what in the world statement is he trying to make? When he walks across the stage and he gets right about where that nose of that guy is on that screen. If you're listening to this on podcast, there's just a giant screen of just this, you can see most of the face of just this guy, this regular looking guy. But for some reason, and it's not explained why, when he stands about where she's at, I want you to watch what the image changes to and stays while he's talking, how the person changes. And then when you hear what he's saying in front of that screen, oh my Lord. Now watch this.
Professor Harari, Professor Yuval, the floor is yours.
So I want to talk to you today about the future of our species and really the future of life.
Who is that? Who is that? Now, I don't know for a fact that it is who I think it is, but who does it look like? Ladies and gentlemen, that looks like Jesus. That looks like Jesus in The Chosen, the TV show. I mean, why? Why did it change?
I want to talk to you today about the future.
Listen to what he's talking about. He begins to talk about what he says is the future. And I want you to listen to his words.
Of our species and really the future of life. We are probably one of the last generations of Homo sapiens. Within a century or two, Earth will be dominated by entities that are more different from us than we are different from Neanderthals or from chimpanzees.
Okay, so he's talking about a future type of species that will be the dominant species on this earth. In this crowd, y'all, in this crowd are millionaires, billionaires, actors, influencers. You could scan the crowd, and a lot of those people in that crowd you would recognize.
Because in the coming generations, we will learn how to engineer bodies and brains and minds.
We will learn how to engineer bodies and brains and minds. Now, I want you to listen. The next thing he's going to say is what the main product that will be sold in our economy will be very soon.
These will be the main products of the economy, of the 21st century economy. Not textiles and vehicles and weapons, but bodies and brains and minds.
Wow. Bodies and brains and minds will be the main product of the coming economy. Once again, freeze frame. Look at that picture, y'all. This is crazy to me. He is standing there pretending to be God while someone over his shoulder looks just like Jesus Christ.
Now, how exactly will the future masters of the planet look like? This will be decided by the people who own the data. Those who control the data control the future, not just of humanity, but the future of life itself. Because today, data is the most important asset in the world.
Listen.
If too much of the data becomes concentrated in too few hands, humanity will split not into classes. It will split into species, into different species.
It will split into different species if the too much data is in the wrong hands. In other words, you need to give us the data so that we can make sure we manage the data. Now, I want you to listen right now. You're about to be blown away. If you hadn't already been blown away, please just keep in mind, y'all, that this is at what is supposedly the largest gathering of wealthy, influential, globally minded people. These are the people that's trying to tell you all these agendas that are so global that you've got to buy into, that are programming you. Many of them are originating right here in Davos, Switzerland. Now, here's where we get into the part where he talks about already there is the ability to hack human beings. Listen to this.
Now, why is data so important? It's important because we've reached the point
Here it is.
when we can hack not just computers, we can hack human beings and other organisms.
Wow.
There is a lot of talk these days about hacking computers and email accounts and bank accounts and mobile phones.
Yep.
But actually, we are gaining the ability to hack human beings.
Now, he lays it out, y'all. They are not hiding, because the very next words he's about to come out of his mouth, he's going to tell you exactly how he's going to do it. He's not just telling you that it's potential. He's going to tell you, here's how we're going to do it, and here's how I know that we are now ready to do it.
Now, what do you need in order to hack a human being? You need two things.
Two things.
You need a lot of computing power, and you need a lot of data, especially biometric data. Not data about what I buy or where I go, but data about what is happening inside my body and inside my brain. Until today, nobody had the necessary computing power and the necessary data to hack humanity.
And he goes on to say, and that's why I'm going to link this down below, because I don't have time to show it all, where you can watch it for yourself. You can watch the whole thing for yourself. It's just stunning. And he says, but they tried to do this, but they couldn't do it because they did not have the computing power and the data that we have. Now, he tries to take a little high road there, but he's basically equating himself with all those evil doctors and scientists, like you see in the movies, the evil scientists that would manipulate and try to destroy humanity. And that's what this is about, y'all. And it's about to get even crazier.
Really summarize 150 years of biological research since Charles Darwin in 3 words. Organisms are algorithms.
Organisms are algorithms. Organisms are algorithms.
It's the big insight of the modern life sciences. Now, when the two revolutions merge,
when the organism and the algorithm merge, when the organism and the algorithm merge, are you hearing what this man is saying? This man is funded by, promoted by the most powerful, wealthy voices and individuals and companies, by the way. Major corporations are involved in this. And this is what he is saying. And no one is challenging you. Do you notice there's no shocked sound from the crowd? There's no, nothing, because they are in full agreement and they have the information to know that what he is saying is true.
When the infotech revolution merges with the biotech revolution, what you get is the ability to hack human beings.
The ability to hack human beings. Now, when you get that ability to hack human beings, listen to what Mr. Yuval Noah Harari says they can do with that when they get that information, and what that will mean to them and what that will mean to you.
And once you have enough such biometric information and enough computing power, you can create algorithms that know me better than I know myself.
That know me better than I know myself. Do you know who we used to say knows me better than I know myself? God. Because that's true. Because God, he knows the secret things, and he's the one that made us. But do you understand everything he is saying is a God mentality. He's trying to say we are God. We are God, and this information is enabling us to become God. He says these algorithms are going to be so powerful that they're going to know you better than you know yourself.
And humans really don't know themselves very
Humans don't really know themselves. Well, I will agree with that to some extent. But when you hear what he's about to say next, and I'm almost through this video, but when you hear what he's about to say next, and then you don't ask yourself, oh my Lord, is this how this agenda is so powerful? Watch how he merges the anti-God agenda quickly into how this algorithm, how this evolving into God, how this information that we now have will, well, let's just play it, and then I'll come back and comment, because you ain't going to believe what he's about to say. Because remember, he just said the algorithm will know us better than we know ourselves because humans don't really know themselves. And he gives an example to the crowd of how humans don't really know themselves. Listen to this.
well. This is why algorithms have a real chance of getting to know ourselves better. We don't really know ourselves. To give an example, when I was 21, I finally realized that I was gay.
Ding, 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 ding. You finally realized you was what?
After living for several years in denial. And this is not exceptional. A lot of gay men live in denial for many years. They don't know something very important about themselves.
So you know what they need? They need an algorithm. They need an algorithm. They need their brains to be hacked so that they can know the real them, because they don't know the real them. Think about TikTok. Think about all this stuff, all this programming that is happening. Do you understand what it is doing? It is hacking the human brain.
Now imagine the situation in 10 or 20 years when an algorithm can tell any teenager exactly where he or she is on the gay-straight spectrum.
Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. Do you understand? No one is shocked. There's no response of negativity. There's nothing, because they're all in favor of this. So he went there. He took the whole thing, what he's talking about, and he says, here's the agenda. Here's one of the main agenda is imagine the algorithm creating an environment to where a young person, notice that he said a young person will be able to know quickly where he is on the gay spectrum. Oh my Lord, this is unbelievable. And he ain't through.
The algorithm tracks your eye movements, your blood pressure, your brain activity, and tells you who you are. But maybe you find yourself in some boring birthday party.
Okay. So see, he's still continuing to push this agenda. Watch this. You're at a boring birthday party, and look how great this algorithm could be. Look how life-changing and world-changing it could be.
Of somebody from your class at school. And one of your friends has this wonderful idea that I've just heard about this cool new algorithm that tells you your sexual orientation. And wouldn't it be a lot of fun if everybody just takes turns testing themselves on this algorithm as everybody else is watching and commenting? And
wouldn't it be fun? Wouldn't it just be a fun party? You know, you're just bored out of your mind, and you're at this boring party as a teenager. Remember, he said teenager. At this boring party, and one of your friends just, instead of saying, hey guys, let's watch the game, or hey guys, let's watch a video, or hey, let's play this board game, or let's play this video game. No, guys, I've got a new app. I've got a new algorithm app that we can all just pass it around and take turns, and we can all find out right here on the fly in real time while everybody's watching our sexual orientation.
Even if you walk away, and even if you keep hiding from your classmates or from your...
Even if you walk away, and even if you keep hiding, here's the ultimatum, and this will be the final point. Even if you walk away, is what he said, and even if you keep hiding from the algorithm,
yourself, you will not be able to hide from Amazon and Alibaba and the secret police.
Alibaba Amazon and the secret police.
As you surf the internet, as you watch videos or check your social feed, the algorithms will be monitoring your eye movements, your blood pressure, your brain activity, and they will know. They could tell Coca-Cola that if you want to sell this person some...
Listen to this. So you watch a Coca-Cola ad, he goes back to the sexuality thing again. He can't get away from it. It'd be one thing if he's just talking about hacking the human brain to make them buy a product, but he makes a point to say that the algorithm, because of your viewing and your purchasing history, will be able to know if it will be more attractive for you as a guy, and he basically implies that this is a guy like himself that would tend to buy a Coca-Cola if a pretty woman was drinking it, or if a good-looking man was drinking it. The algorithm will be able to know which one of the sexes to drink the Coca-Cola to cause you to buy it, because the algorithm knows you better than you know you.
Fuzzy, sugary drink. Don't use the advertisement with the shirtless girl. Use the advertisement with the shirtless guy. You wouldn't even know that this was happening, but they will know. And this information will be worth billions.
This information will be worth billions, probably trillions if the truth be known. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an insane agenda. And what is so insane is this speech was given in 2018. 2018, y'all. Just about a year and a half before something started sweeping the earth. And if you remember, right around that same time, he gave that interview where he said, we have widely known that if you want to implement world life-altering change, you wait until a catastrophe to happen. And at the end of the catastrophe, people are prepared to accept things they would have never accepted before. The algorithm. We didn't even know what an algorithm was not long ago, but now everything's about the algorithm. Everything is about a system. Everything. He says it is not. There's another video out there. You can find it. He says it's not the future. It's right now. One of the videos, he says, all you that believe in this God, this God above the clouds and all this kind of stuff, he said, we don't need that because you think you have free will. This same guy says free will is a thing of the past. You no longer have free will. He said, you do what we want you to do is basically what he was saying. That's the global vision. And how did this happen, ladies and gentlemen? How did this happen in the world in which we live in? It happened because the church fell asleep. The church got lulled to sleep. The same way abortion happened, same way that taking prayer out of school happened, same way the redefining of the family happened, same way the redefining of love and intimacy happened. I'm talking about little by little. And now we've sit back and we cannot understand and cannot believe how in the world did we have a world where libraries are having drag queens come in and read basically pornographic stuff and with images in there of things in some of these books that these kids are reading that if you were to publish it, if I was to even show you a picture of it, I would be banned from this platform. But yet they're being given to our children. Our children are being the pawns. And if you'll notice all the way through his speech, he kept talking about young people, about children, and about teenagers because he understood that's how you do it. That's how you do it. But let me tell you somebody else that understood something about young people. Understands a lot more than Klaus Schwab, a lot more than Yuval Noah Harari, more than the World Economic Forum. And that's the God that made all of us, the God that stepped out on nothing and spoke to nothing and nothing became something, the creator of the universe. Do you know what he said? He said about this time, while all this chaos is happening, while they're saying they can hack the human brain and hack the mind, God said, hold up. In the last days it shall come afterward that I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. And I like this. Jesus, God's word led with the young people. Your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men will dream dreams. Your young men will see visions. Praise God. I'm telling you right now, while the world seems like it's going to hell on a bobsled, there is a revival happening. It's not a hacking of a biological mind, but if there's any kind of hacking going on, it's the hacking of the organized church that just wasn't making. If anything that came out of the catastrophe was that the remnant was left, and the remnant is rising. You know, Hebrews chapter 12 says, don't be surprised. There will be a time when all the world will shake. It will seem like there is no sure foundation and no sure footing beneath you, but everything that can be shaken will be shaken until that which cannot be shaken remains. That's Hebrews chapter 12. I love it. And it says that we have received a kingdom which cannot be shaken. And can I just say this too? We have received a kingdom that cannot be hacked. Woohoo! It cannot be hacked. Oh yeah, Yuval, you may be able to think that you can move this genome and this and do this to the DNA, but you cannot touch my spirit, man. Come on now, I'm going to tell you right now. But we all do know this, right? We all do know where this is going. This is all just a step towards what God's word has already told us is coming. The Antichrist, the mark of the beast. You can call me crazy. You can call me some loon if you think I still believe that, but I happen to believe the Bible. And I'm going to tell you right now, all this stuff that you hear me talk about tonight and all the things that you're seeing happen all over this world, we already knew about it. It's already in the scriptures. And our hearts are not troubled. We are not shaken. We are not moved, because we know we got to lift up our heads to the sky because our redemption is drawing nigh. Ladies and gentlemen, Jesus Christ is going to come back after his church, and he's not coming back after a weak, anemic, pacifist church that has bought into the lies of the world. I'm telling you right now, you can't hack me. I'm Holy Ghost filled. I'm holy. I'm born again, fire baptized. I'm going to cast devils out and lay hands on the sick, and I'm going to preach the gospel, y'all. Ain't nobody going to stop me. And that goes for the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, and all his little minions. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Look down there and watch it for yourself. If you hadn't already subscribed, do it now. Hit that like button, share this thing. Let's make this video go viral, because you really can't find much on YouTube that you got to really search hard to find anybody showing you some of this stuff. But I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to bring it to you, and hopefully I don't get banned for it. See you next time on The Big Picture, where we are not woke, but we certainly are awake. God bless.